There's one university student, he was doing his master's. And I said, but in the university, you have lots and lots of these plastics. So quickly what he did was that he became the monitoring person, and then they'll collect the plastics and bring. He told me honestly that he sold those plastics to pay for his master's fees.
You're listening to Blue Radio, bringing the vibe.
Ladies and gentlemen, as always, it's me again, the local, troublemaker, Ian Kipto, once again with another fantastic conversation. This is a testament to the power of networking. Plastic Punch, my good friend from Ghana, Richmond, has actually brought me a new friend, and it's a testament that networking does really work. Seated across me is none other than Elvis Aboluah.
Yes.
In the building, himself in the flesh. Thank you, my brother, for making the time.
Welcome.
I'd like to start for you to introduce yourself, because by extension, somebody somewhere will learn today who is Elvis and what does Elvis do. Kindly.
My name is Elvis Aboluah, as you've mentioned. I come from Ghana, West Africa.
Okay.
And the company we run is called Trashy Bags Africa. And basically the company is about upcycling. In Ghana, we have such a huge problem with plastic, to the extent that it's become a very big problem with marine life, land pollution, and then a whole lot of problems on the environment. So what we've been in operation for 16 years now, creating intensive awareness among school children, visiting them, and also bringing them to our fascinating factory where they come in and see innovation. So in this house, we call it the Innovation House. We host a lot of school and children building new initiatives, and then showcasing things that appeal to them, that they can think out of the box. And then in Africa, we can always have local solutions to address our problems. And this is growing viral on daily basis. And apart from that, also we've seen the significant reduction of the plastic also, because people come there and then they go back and say, oh, we didn't know that there's value for the material. We're never going to throw this away. We'll collect it, bring it to Trashy Bags, sell and make some money. So they don't need to throw that away again. So on daily basis, we have groups and groups of people who also bring loads and loads of these plastics to us that we quantify and then pay them. And also with companies have come to see that they also have kind of waste that they are struggling to find ways of recycling. So they found us as a very useful partner for all these years. Some of them are small companies, some of them are multinational companies. We've had like Nestle, Unilever, Coca-Cola, and the kind. So when they have waste and other things, they partner with us, and then we make them into very fascinating products that still advertises them. And a whole lot of people are getting involved on a daily basis. We've built such a huge publicity nationwide in Ghana, and then also globally.
And globally,
Effectively, in Ghana, we've been able to recycle, process all these waste material into products that we've sold to the whole world.
Wow.
Sold to Europe, America, and they see our products as a very powerful message that goes to the world that we can do something to save the environment from the problems that we have.
You know, Elvis, you've talked about 16 years.
Yes.
16 years is a very long time.
Yes.
Even if I was an investor right now, I wouldn't want even to look at, what is what. I would just say, yes, let's go, let's invest, because that is tangible time. And, you've been tried, you've been tested, and definitely you've been approved.
Exactly.
Fantastic. I would like to get into the purpose of why you're here today. I know you've left West Africa, you've left your family behind. Tell them, I have a purpose I'm going for in Kenya, and that's why you're here today. Could you talk to us a little bit about that? How have you found the experience in Diani for the last 2 days?
In the first place, I would say I'm very fascinated to be in Kenya here.
Okay.
The thing is that sometimes we are all within Africa, but we don't travel to see the other parts of Africa.
Very true.
And sometimes, strangely, foreigners then visit and tell us what is within our own countries. And then so, in the first place, I'm so happy that I'm here. Most of it I've read about Kenya, but I've never seen Kenya. And I'm here in person. I'm so happy to meet also brothers here. Because then, very importantly also, if you are dealing with a problem locally here, and then yet you know there's a global problem, you are very much limited. So it's also an opportunity to come and meet all the people here through this program with the Blue Invest. So we've come here to meet people from Kenya, Tanzania, and different parts of Africa and Europe and also North Africa. And it's so interesting. And then if you look at that, the kind of synergy for these past 2 days that we've had here is so marvelous. You find ideas from other companies, and some of these ideas are interrelated. And some people are having things that are actually challenges to them. And you find that just within these few days that we've met here, already there are other companies that have solutions to their problems. So it's really very interesting. And I know also this is generating a lot of publicity. We were so happy that we decided this morning to donate one of our products to all. We put them on the chairs of all the participants. So we're happy to feature our products, so building that publicity. And we're sure the people living here will leave with something from Trashy Bags Africa back to their home to tell the story wider.
That's wonderful. I believe one of our colleagues, actually many of our colleagues are on the other side, so I know they have the product. I once I see it, once I sample it, I'll definitely give my reviews.
Good.
And I know there is always beyond Blue Invest, you know, because you've come, you've seen, you've met people, you've created some networks. And like you mentioned, you know, someone could have a problem and somebody right here has that solution, you know. For you and the organization, what is the future looking, you know, beyond Blue Invest?
I think the future generally is not just a Blue Invest, but it's about collaboration. Collaboration, local and then also international. And that's what we have done for the 16 years. So we try to reach far. We were talking, can you imagine, Burkina Faso, Ivory Coast, and then Togo, they are just neighboring countries to Ghana. But I came here and met a lady, and she said that the problem, I knew that they have the same problem there, but we're trying to work out some kind of network also with the government there. And that's still in the pipeline. But we met a lady here who is saying that, please, what you are doing will be a very big solution to La Côte d'Ivoire. So when we get back home, we should please try and see how we can connect
we can do
to
that,
extend that here. So I think beyond Blue Invest is also building that kind of collaboration with individuals, companies, and I think that is the only way we can reach far.
All right. Thank you. I would like to divert your attention to something interesting. Delegates from Africa and the world met in Germany for Bonn, I think in Bonn, And one of the interesting things was financing in the blue economy and climate change. And one of the things that has emerged is that often, you know, during COPs, during these big UN conversations, we do pledge a lot of dollars when we say we're going to invest this in this type of blue economies, but we never see these funds getting to the organizations that really need the funding and who are providing those solutions, you know. As an entrepreneur, as a problem solver in the continent, you know, how could we bridge this gap as a continent and as a people?
I think we've had so many problems. Some of them are also within our countries in the first place, especially some of this when it comes to the position where you belong to a particular country and then there has to be some level of governmental involvement. We've seen a lot of hitches, especially when money is involved, and that has always been one of the challenges. The other challenge is also the investors. Sometimes they are relying to other people to know these people, and that is one of the things that an investor will have to also, beyond just the pitching, is just 4 minutes. But I was telling our story yesterday to some of the participants, and they were so fascinated. Can you imagine how you can compress a 6-year story into just 4 minutes? So sometimes some of the investors are not so much aware about actually the companies that are just in actual need, and if they get the funding, will explode in terms of results that they can make. And that has always been one of the things that is being a juggling between investors and then also the real people.
Yeah.
I know we've also had situations where they will normally in the past will want to just channel the money through governments, and then the government will then deal with that. But now it's the reverse story, moving from aid to trade, which also means that you identify the right people, you invest in them, and then you make the impact.
All right. As we conclude, Africa right now is having an upsurge of young people, and we are saying I think by 2030 we'll be having more than 1.2 billion people, or 2 billion people on the continent. Yeah. And this means more work. And right now we are facing that challenge of employment and whatnot. Yeah. We go to colleges, we are not taught about recycling, we are not taught about the blue economy. As an entrepreneur, I like to pick your brain on this. How could we create more jobs? How could we educate our folks in the university or even technical institutes that, guys, as much as you are doing this, you could also try something else? Yeah.
I think we've had a certain kind of mentality, especially in Africa in the past, that you go to school, you finish the university, you must necessarily be in some governmental office doing something, but it always has to start somewhere. Yeah. And it also identifying your dreams and then also understanding it within the context of reality. So sometimes your dreams can also be another challenge to you. I'm dreaming that I have to be a doctor, and then there are so many opportunities available at that time, but some are just waiting to see that dream come to pass, whereas they could be doing something and then still keeping in line with that dream. And in terms of the job market also, this will actually be looking at it from now to the next decade and beyond. It's even going to be much more serious if we are not taking the opportunities to actually invest in some of these opportunities and of these companies and organizations that have these potentials to employ more people. It will be one of the things. And then you look at it also, it's causing a lot of brain drain because we have most of these young people, all their focus is I just need a visa to go to Europe. And then you find thousands and thousands of people moving to
away
different
from
parts
Africa,
at the States and then other places. And that's the brain drain is also another big challenge again. But if we are able to fix the situation in such a way that companies that have so many things doing can then broaden, open, scale up, like what we are doing. If we ever get a fund like we're seeking to get from Blue Invest, it will be massive because our capacity can grow beyond 4 or 5 times. We can scale up more than that. And then like I just talked about one of our sisters in La Côte d'Ivoire, we have an opportunity to then go stretch this to our neighboring countries. And then you can imagine the employment that is actually, there was one interesting thing, just collecting the waste. There's one university student, he was doing his master's. And I said, but in the university you have lots and lots of these plastics. So quickly what he did was that he became the monitoring person, and then they'll collect the plastics and bring. He told me honestly that he sold those plastics to pay for his master's fees.
Wow.
Whereas his colleagues would look at it like a laughing thing that you graduate collecting plastics. So we need that kind of mental renewal of our minds towards the way our perceptions are about jobs also within us. All
right. As we conclude, what a final message for anyone that will listen to the conversation or listen to the podcast later on, because our niche and our audience are people in the blue economy and mostly young people between 18 and 35. What message would you like to leave them with today?
I would like to tell everyone that what you've come to pick here, just make sure that when you go back, you make an impact with it. And then when you start something significantly, you have to grow it up to a significant level, because we have some people who start some trade, the next day they stop it, and then they are basically just hopping from one thing to the other. But then you have to be focused about what you are doing. When we started, it was really very minimal. But now we've attracted the attention of global attention to the extent that we've had Al Jazeera, BBC. In fact, last year we even had the UK Foreign Secretary travel all the way from the UK to come and see what we're doing.
To see what you're doing.
So I'll encourage the young ones that once you have something doing and you are focused on it, it will take time, but you'll get there. And then I also want to say Hakuna Matata and then peace to Kenya, and Kenya is a very lovely country, and we are happy to be here.
All right, Mr. Elvis, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
And for anyone who's listening and you've not been paying attention and not gotten anything we've been talking about, kindly, the message is, for me, that is the takeaway. It takes time, be patient, and have grit and resilience. All right. That's all from us at this moment, but kindly keep tuned at Blue Radio Kenya and Blue Radio Kenya on all social media platforms, and that's how we are exiting. All right.
Yeah, thank you.